That's him.
I guess I'll start. I mean, it started myself, another person named Eric. You know, we wanted to play music. We wanted to have fun, you know, and we connected with this guy over here.
Yeah.
Actually, before you, there was
Ian Anderson.
Actually, which forgot about that for a moment, but
yeah, he wrote most of the first couple songs when I came in with you guys.
Right. And it was just, you know, for us in the beginning, I mean, we were all coming from, you know, obviously we all had listened to hardcore. You know, I think, I sang, so, you know, as far as my lyrics, I think I brought more of a, you know, like a, you know, an emo sensibility to everything, you know, and eventually, I mean, I think that's what Extend became, was we were somewhat known as an emo band, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's the term we'd want to use for it, at least at that time.
I don't think it
wasn't. We didn't cry.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think emo core. I don't think like that really even that term sort of.
Well, I'm saying it's a precursor.
It would be a precursor.
It can't be one or the either. It's
influences, Falling Forward, Split Lip,
Rage Against the Machine. We were always compared to.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Big deal.
Obviously.
I mean, we took Extend took their namesake from Inside Out, from, you know, the lyrics of Burning Fight. You know, I'm only trying to extend myself, was where we took our namesake from. That was the beginning.
And that was what, 92? Late 92?
Yeah.
I came in at like 93.
Yeah.
We used to practice across the street from where we are now.
Yeah, indeed. And then you stayed with...
I was in, Adam was in. Adam
Gasper.
And then we brought on Will Marshall. He came in with me, more or less.
Yeah.
And then he left for Fallout.
Right.
Said, right. And then John Vogley came in when Casey left.
Mm-hmm.
Vogley played a little while when Casey was still in.
What Adam left.
Vogley taught me all the songs, so yeah.
Okay. Adam left to start Crawl Space with Zeller and Bernsey.
Yeah.
So when Adam left, Casey came in, and then when Casey left, you came in.
Yep.
And then when I left, Connor came in.
There's a few people in between there, but yeah.
That was like phase 1 of Extend, like Generation 1.
Yeah.
Generation 2.
Generation 2
was you.
Was
You
myself,
through
Blake.
some of that. Yeah.
But Vogley was in before him.
Yeah, just for filler more than anything else.
From Option and early VOD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was basically you.
It was, and then I mean that was the last part of it. It was myself. It was still Rage. It was you, Blake,
Connor
Logan, who played he played a pretty long stint with Shelter, which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's hometown kid. The first show I remember going to was at a church picnic. It was American Youth, a Scranton hardcore band, and it was Side Over. American Youth, I believe, later became Option.
Okay.
Pretty positive about that.
Side Over had another name too.
No, Side Over was American Youth.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And Option was
Positive Energy.
Yeah, I think Positive Energy.
Right.
Yep.
But that was probably 90. That was probably 1990.
Yeah. 89.
You know, and I must have been 13. You know, riding my skateboard and whatnot. And that was for me. I mean, I think it went a little bit before that, but for me that was the beginning.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit later. I'm actually from the middle of nowhere, so I really didn't start going to shows. It's like Murphy's Law at the Staircase was my first show.
Fabulous
That's
Disaster,
like 91.
One Shot Deal. Were they before?
I believe that was around the one shot deal. It was a little bit that predates No One's Hero. I think I could be wrong.
That's like 91, 92.
Yeah, but
I remember seeing, I think, One Shot Deal in 92 at the Columbia Firehouse in Edwardsville. And that's around when like Flux and Fabulous Disaster were still in flyers. I wasn't aware of who they were, but...
Absolutely. Well, CC's...
Factory.
Manus Green, which is, I mean, Manus Green, 3 days a week, you'd be at shows. I'm a teacher now, and I have students that laugh when I tell them, how many bands have you seen in your life? And I'm like, 4,000 or 5,000. And they're like, no, there's no way you've seen 4. So 3 shows a weekend, 5 bands a show. It adds up real fast, and they had a hard time believing that was valid. But I mean, it was completely valid. That was just the way it was.
Midtown Arcade,
Midtown,
Pittston.
yeah.
That was like that was one of I already said my first show, but Midtown Arcade in Pittston, downtown Main Street, Midtown Arcade. You know, they were doing hardcore and metal at the same time, which then it hardcore and metal played nice together, and it worked. You know,
it all played nice together. That's the one thing I see the difference now. You know, I mean, how Option played with 15. At the Ukrainian, whatever the hall was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talk about a bizarre connection there.
Yeah.
You have a political crust punk band from California playing with Option.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
But I mean,
also
that's the way it went then.
Nativity Church Picnic in Southside. I know that an early version of Option, whether or not they were Option or what do we say, Positive Energy?
Yeah. Well,
they played that. They played their talent show.
Yeah,
in high school.
I believe that's the show I mentioned. That's my first.
That's the church
show.
show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then many fire halls.
Yeah, I mean, the
garages.
Edwardsville Fire Hall, which was a
Yeah.
standard for 5 years at least, if not more.
What was in Walton?
Independence Fire Hall.
Independence Fire, yeah.
What was in Hamlin?
There was
Waffle House?
There was a couple fire halls out there
there
and
was,
stuff that handled
LOA Firehouse?
Yeah.
Or the Waffle Shop show?
Yeah, because Life of Agony played there.
Yeah,
and they tore down the ceiling.
There's the one place. There was a pool hall too out like towards Homestead. I have footage of the riot at CC's of 108 outside with the police arresting
I would
people.
really love that. Really.
And Jay Hudock talking in the background about it. Boomer, get the camera out! Quick, get the camera!
I have the 108 tape, and that's also on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's prominently featured. So.
Oh yeah.
Freaking beautiful.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that.
Yes, we must see. The world needs to see us.
Northeast Fitness Center.
Yeah.
And Proof Rocks.
Yeah.
And the Northeast Fitness Center was probably the first time I saw you guys.
Really?
That was probably the first time I saw you guys. Yeah, it was down at Northeast Fitness Center, and that was also when I bought the My Truth video.
That's where I bought mine.
Yep,
Same
from
day.
Steve Goldman.
Yeah.
And Steve was the one hawking them at that point.
Yeah,
Ryan Paddock made them.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
that was a good show. We played with Hate to Say It.
Hate to say it, Summer's Cold, VOD
Yeah.
option, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just sort of to piggyback on what you said. Sunburn's Cold. I mean, as far as really influential bands, even to Extend, because Sunburn's Cold predates Extend. I mean, those guys were a big influence to us. I mean, they were the way they did everything. Lyrically and musically, I was really influenced by those guys, and that definitely came out in a lot of Extend, I think.
Where else? We played CC's a lot.
Yeah, we too much.
Pottsville.
Yeah.
Going down too.
Yeah.
Remember we were on that huge tour? No, we weren't on a huge tour.
We were two
shows in a row.
We were just too young.
And too young. Yeah,
we didn't.
No idea.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's not a city that speaks as clearly as New York or Boston, but I think the scene, in terms of the amount of bands that came out of here, rivals anywhere else. And considering how small an area it was, there were probably more bands per resident in the city than there were anywhere else. And I'm speaking out of turn, but dozens of bands came out of here.
I think the big thing though is just now, recently, this area seems to trap you. I mean, we had the close connection with Long Island. There were constantly bands from Long Island coming down and playing, but it just seems like, did anybody really get out?
No one really got out.
Until now, with bands like Title Fight and the Menzingers. I mean, really.
Cold World.
Yeah, and Cold World, exactly. But I mean, before it was kind of like.
Yeah, I think this was a great location.
It was a great place to be.
I think it was a great location because it was so close to the East Coast.
Yeah.
It was close to Philly. So we had East Coast.
You got everybody.
We had New York bands. We had bands coming up from down south. DC bands.
Yeah.
So we had bands coming from west.
Yeah.
So we really had like a lot of different.
Yeah, it was a good diversity of different people coming from different areas too. I mean, we did get a lot. We were a good stopping point. And that's what it came down to. Louisville. I mean,
Louisville, fucking all the all the emo bands that were
constantly.
And they were a big influence on me. Whereas I kind of gravitated more towards that style and not so
here.
much.
I'm a DC guy, and everybody knows that.
Right.
I've always been a DC guy.
Right. So
Dixon City or?
Yes, Dixon City.
It happens, aggression, sweat, energy from the music, but it doesn't have a place, but it was part of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't belong, but
That's exactly.
Yeah.
It happens. It was something you couldn't get around.
when you're dancing, you get punched in the face.
When you're that close with that many people, there's going to be problems. People got on each other's nerves, and it did. Yeah, I'm one that I almost took that a few times where I had to duck for cover, but it's happened. I mean, you deal with these people like your family. you get pissed off at family. So I mean, it happens.
Rest in peace to a lot of the members of the hardcore family that have passed on. Jamie White, Hans Nothen. If you can throw anybody in. Is there anybody else? I won't leave anyone out.
Johnny Dudek.
Little Sandy.
Dudek, recent loss.
Which,
Yeah, Little Sandy. Yeah.
For me, that's, you know.
Okay,
I'd like
I mean
to-
that was good. It's hard to go after that. I mean, you know, it was a great time. I mean, it was the best time of my life. I mean, just the timing of it all. It'll never happen again. Just the people, that point in history, you know, it won't be recreated like that again. I mean, it's still happening now, which is awesome.
It's
but
different.
It is different, so it'll never happen like that
Yeah,
again.
exactly. You've got the internet. It changed
like,
everything.
Yeah.
The internet changed
Yeah.
everything when it came to music. And I mean,
Yeah.
and I look back and I mean, these people were my family for a long time. They were the closest people to the world to me, next to my actual blood, you know. I mean,
A lot of...
I can't imagine. I mean, even now, I haven't seen Keith in probably 10 years.
I just want to say that. We fucking hugged each other.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it's just the way it is.
A lot of good friendships were created.
Absolutely.
Too. If anything good came out of it, it was a lot of long-term friendships.
Yeah. And a lot of people have gone on to do pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah.
Which is,
When you do a Where Are They Now,
yeah.
we'll catch up.
A true Hollywood story.